So welcome for styling your lettering session today, and I'm glad I could meet you all participants from different corners of the world. It's a pleasure to be a part of Taipei 2020 online conference. So great. If you have your pencils, papers ready, it's going to help you to follow some of the things that I'm going to show in the live demo. Great. Um, if at all there is a situation where I'm unaudible, please put it in the chat so I'll be able to know that. And thanks, Yana, for I hope I'm spelling your name correctly, Yana. Thanks for being there from the tech team. I wish more participants could join, but nevertheless we can begin. So the subject of lettering is very close to me. I don't know how many of you know me. I'm Chandan Mahinkar. Uh, I stay in Mumbai in India, in the west coast of India, business cities, top business city in India. I run my own design studio in Mumbai, and I've been in design and advertising industry for about 20, 22 years now. And since last past few years, I have started my own design studio. I used to earlier be chief creative officer at Saatchi and Saatchi, world's most creative advertising agency, where I ran a design division for them for about 10 years. And it's a pleasure that I get to meet more people now because I'm independent and I've started my own studio. Uh, and I also teach. I take online and offline workshops, now more online because of COVID situation. Everything is happening online. So, and that's also one of the reason that I'm here in front of you, because this conference itself is now going was initially going to be offline, but now it's online. And this has made us very easy for to connect with typography and lettering lovers like all of you. So without further ado, let's begin. I am also present on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And as I present, I will tell you my handles as well. And if you learn something good, I will be very happy. And if you can take these techniques uh, and learn from them as well. So today we are on the subject of styling your lettering. Now we all know what is lettering, what is hand lettering. uh, Everybody seem to like this art form, and it becomes pretty what do you say, a handy art form in your design career or in your typography career, or generally if you love lettering. However, the major challenge that people and artists, young artists face today in styling is they don't know how to begin, how to construct proper letter forms. And I'm going to show you some of the lettering that I have done. So for me, letters always tell stories, which means lettering always is telling a story through the subject that you choose, through the quotations that you decide to letter, and through the styles, and therefore the subject of style. To achieve the style perfectly, one needs to follow a process and fundamentals of lettering. I'm not getting too much deep into today's session, but generally there is enough information available so that you can also follow the fundamentals. But following a process definitely helps you achieve better lettering techniques. And I want to share some of the timeless lettering styles today so that we can also see how to develop them in today's session through my live demo. So we start with linear style, one of the most basic styles. If you see on the screen, I'm holding a pen in my hand right now, which is this microtip pen. Now the single line created by this pen or the pencil or a marker, that single line that you create through this tool is responsible for linear style. What it does is you don't need to have to add thickness because the single stroke will be able to achieve the lettering style. The other style is bold, of course, which is completely opposite to the linear style. Bold style requires a little more weight, a lot of weight, in fact. However, in typography, the weight can be very high, which means it can look extremely bold. But in lettering, I feel if it's not necessary, you may not make it very bold. So that's why I'm calling this kind of style bold, which is bold, but it is not as bold as how you see it in typography. Serif style, one of the most timeless styles. It started many years ago through Latin, then Greek letters, and then Roman letters, and you will find many examples of serif styles. However, the styles I am sharing in today's presentation are all the styles that I have developed over the past few years while practicing and also using lettering professionally in design projects. So this is some of the example of serif. This is another example of serif, which is more Roman-inspired letters. The one which says "Death by Serif" is a fat face serif. The one in the center is quite linear, delicate serif, again based on Roman letters. And on the left, what you see, "Craft is your ticket to glory," is a very old style Roman. If you see this one, this is something which I've been working on since past few years again, especially because I like Herb Lubelin's work, the legend who worked in US in the 60s, 70s and 80s. And this style is not exactly what he used to do, but I have taken some inspiration from some of his lettering and typography work and used it to make this the way it's shaped up. But nevertheless, this is my own unique approach to Herb Lubelin's work. This is a pretty interesting style. This is called reverse contrast, which means the main strokes of all the alphabets are thinner and the serifs go extremely thicker and have large weight. So therefore, it's called the reverse contrast. And I've been again working on this style as well. And I think there's a lot of charm in doing a reverse contrast. It just gives a very surprisingly retro feel to your lettering. Sans serif, again, how can you forget sans serif? What is serif? And then opposite to that is sans serif, which means without serifs. These are all Art Deco inspired lettering specimens that I have created. And you may look at a lot of other work that I've been doing in lettering, hand lettering and typography on my Instagram handle at @cmahimkar. You may want to see it here, which is on the first slide that I shared. When you come to sans serif, there are so many different styles in sans serif that it becomes even in serif for that matter, that it becomes confusing for lettering lovers and lettering practitioners to decide which style to choose. And I will show you how you can simplify that process and not get confused. Then in serif, I like to use the marker. Again, if you see the screen, this is the marker. This is a permanent black marker that I use. And that's how I've created all these three pieces on the screen. Very interesting. It gives you automatic rounded corners and it adds a pretty, again, a very classical touch to your sans serif lettering. Script, again, one of the tougher styles. You need to practice it a lot. The one you see on the left which says letter better in October, the letter better is actually Spencerian italic, which is hand lettered. So Spencerian is also in calligraphy, but this is hand lettered Spencerian, which again you will see its roots almost over a century ago. But nevertheless, it's come back in trend and many artists are using it to emphasize the old style Spencerian. What you see on the right is simplistic serif. And again, what I use is a lot of tracing sheets to keep improving on my draft. The one you see here is where a tracing underneath this sheet, then a little thickness added again on another tracing under this sheet, and there's another sheet. So what I keep doing is keep improving my own draft so that I'm able to create new drafts on new sheets of tracings. And that's a fun exercise where you create your own original lettering references and you keep bettering it as you keep creating new drafts. Ligatures again are a very important part of lettering and typography both. What ligatures do is they connect two alphabets, two letters very effortlessly. Now there are pretty obvious ligatures that are available since a century or so, and even type designers today are trying to break that mold and create a lot of attractive new styles of ligatures. And I am also helping that whole movement of creating ligatures which are very experimental and unique. For example, the letter craft here. word craft, the CR becomes a ligature, the RA again is a ligature, and the F and T becomes a ligature. Ligature actually is a glyph, which means two or more alphabets become one glyph. So that again requires a tighter turning, and it makes automatically your composition go tighter. And you might have seen it constantly in the work that I'm sharing today, which is my own work. What you will be also able to see today is to approach, which we will again look at it when I start the demo. Mono weight and mono style. What is mono weight? Mono weight is the same weight of alphabet from the first letter till the last letter. So you keep continuing that mono style across. And mono weight is the size of the alphabet is also continuing to be the same. In the center piece, you will see that some of the alphabets are size-wise smaller than the other alphabets, but the weight continues to be the same. So therefore, it still falls in the mono style category. Now this is again created by a marker on the left. In the center, it's created by a micron pen. On the right side, it's all created by pencil on a tracing paper. What you can also see here is even though this is a serif style, it still has the mono style approach, which means the thickness and the style continues to be the same from under the Tuscan sun. So only the becomes smaller here, which is okay because you are creating a composition of sorts. Style pairing again becomes very important. To pair two styles or more than two styles is always something which many lettering artists like to do. And there is a simple approach to creating such pairing which is visually appealing, which means one of the word can be bold, the other can be light, one can be bold, the other can be script, one can be bold, tall, the other can be serif, small. So there are various ways to look at pairing, which again creates a lot of interesting and visually attractive compositions. Now, to create style variations, again, I'm going to show you in the demo. However, there are some things which you can automatically see now as a result of the examples that I am sharing now, which is when you create that original sketch, your styles are actually trapped inside that sketch, and you need to work more onto it by adding more layers of tracing sheets, and therefore all the styles can easily start to reveal, which means a bone structure can always be the same of the lettering. But when you add the styling, the same bone structure can give birth to different styles, and you can create a lot of variations. Creating style variations, again, if you see this particular piece, this and this is the same visual composition, same size, but you see two different styles. And that's because I put another tracing on top, and I'm also going to share that while I'm going to show you the demo again. And it's just about working on new drafts, and that's how you can create new styles. So without further ado, we can start the demo. And I'm going to quickly now go into the demo part. I hope I'm also using this for the first time. So let's begin practice. So you can see me on screen, and I found a very interesting way to show you how a demo can be easily done. But before that, I just want to show you the Wanderlust piece. If you see on screen, this is the Wanderlust sketch. This is the basic linear sketch. And what you do therefore is add a sheet of tracing on top of it. So this is the other tracing, and you keep creating new styles. So you see this one is again having a little weight, and on this particular one, it's all creating a thickness. Then if you see this particular one, the same one now, and it has got reverse contrast. And what you see here is all the vertical strokes are thinner and the serifs are going thicker, and that's reverse contrast. And in the end, what you see is this one, which has Again, a very different style, not exactly Roman old style, but not exactly new as well. So I've got these cross sections here and they meet. So these are triangles meeting in the center. So from one version to another, and I would like to show now a simple demo so that you will be able to quickly learn that. I hope you are able to see my desk. Uh, so it's pencils, tracing sheets, and the marker which I like so that I'm able to quickly give thickness to my letters. Now, if you are able to see that, so I'm just going to draw bone structures first, almost like skeletons of letters. So let's start with the letter A, and I'm going to draw it slightly bigger. Usually, I will not draw so big, but because on screen it needs to look better, I'm going to draw almost half of this. This is an A4 sheet. I'm also almost going to draw half. So if you see, this is the bone structure of the letter A, right? I hope you can see it clearly. And another bone structure can be a slightly expanded A. Again, I'm using a marker on tracing sheet. Slightly vertical but expanded. Now, if this is a bone structure, how am I supposed to create anything serif or sans serif or a very different style? Is what I do is I take another tracing sheet, which was under, and I put it on top of this. Right? So this is an empty tracing sheet. This one is an empty tracing sheet, and the below one is where I drew the skeleton. One which is condensed tall and one which is slightly expanded and tall. So now if I use this to create a serif style, and I fill this. So then again, I'm doing it so that you get a fair idea of how a simple bone structure of letter can help you create, and to give it a slightly vintage feel. So from here to here, and the same way we can do something to this other A, and again treat it differently so that it can become another style for us. You may want to create so this is a quite an art deco-ish A, right? So from two simple bone structures, two different styles have emerged. Yeah. So from here to here, and I'm just want to rotate it so that you are able to see that clearly. So from a bone structure, so on the left of the screen is the bone structure, and you have two. Now you can keep doing it again and again and again. So rather than sticking with these simple styles, you can again create something which is genuinely different and use the next two to create another draft. And this time you can create something totally different, which means it can be, for example, a smaller version of the A and much more proportionate to Roman style. So what I'm going to do is, and it's pretty easy to shift the tracing. So I'm just going to create a little fat, old school Roman style. Now you will compose your lettering the way you will do with a thumbnail first and develop a total composition just the way this particular piece was. If you saw this Wanderlust, you will create all of this in linear style first, and then add a tracing on top to give it a style. You may not want to stress on style so much because the shape of the alphabet, like from here now, from here again to this, and you can create totally different vintage or add more flourishes or add more thickness to it. For example, I want to add a little more thickness. This is getting too linear, so I'll add a little more thickness here so that it follows. So this looks almost a very proper old style Roman, right? If you see this now, again, from here to here, and if you go a little back, you will see that we started here actually. So if you start from here, you can go here, 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 and it's endless actually. But you might want to experiment like this with single alphabet so that you become confident with this technique, rather than take the responsibility of the entire composition. For example, if you had this particular composition ready with linear strokes only, you may not want to stress by putting the style totally to all the alphabets of Wanderlust. Start with a single W first and see how you can experiment, and then fix on one style. And once you fix on that style, you apply it to the rest of the alphabet. So it becomes a complete style in that composition. So this is one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is experimental styles. These are pretty traditional styles. Let's experiment with something totally new. And that new style can be something which you must have seen somewhere. You like some artist's work, so it becomes easy for you to apply. For example, one of my favorite alphabets is R. So if you take R, you can split R in 3 strokes. One is the vertical stroke, one is the curve, and the other is the bottom cross stroke, right? Now, if this is kind of the bone structure of the word R, you can do so much more with this, because when you see these 3 simple strokes, now you have simplified your approach. No matter, it doesn't bother you which style to choose, because it's giving you its own simplicity. So what you can do is you can create a pretty vintage R now. So you reduce the stroke and you increase the curve. Right? So it's the same vertical, but it's become slightly smaller in height. It's the same curve, but it's extended almost like a flourish. And rather than a straight line, you can add it a curve. So kind of a pretty simple approach again. But again, when you've broken an alphabet into basic strokes, it becomes easy to understand the construction of the alphabet, and therefore it becomes very, very easy to adapt it to different styles. Now again, if this was the bone structure, let's take another tracing on top of this one, so that it allows us to create another style. Now it can also mean that you may want to create something which is italic. So it's very easy again. The 3 strokes, the first stroke becomes diagonal. The curvy stroke again follows the italic line, and then the bottom stroke. So I'm deliberately not joining it so that you can see the 3 different strokes. Right? If you see now, this is italic. This is a straight version. Right? Pretty clear? Again, the same vertical stroke here, curve and diagonal. The same stroke became more curvy, the vertical stroke became slightly smaller, and the R stroke became slightly curvy again to give it more vintage feel. and this again is an italic version. Again, the same way you can do an italic vintage by putting the bone structure behind and adding a style which is italic vintage. And you may want to increase the stroke as well. So again, if you see this, from straight to italic, pretty easy, and you can then add a little more weight to it so that it doesn't look very thin, because remember this was only a bone structure, right? So you are able to add thickness, and again when you add thickness just by adding the vertical stroke as a thicker stroke, this automatically starts looking Art Deco italic. And by adding a serif and thickness to this, you may need to add that even to the, not just to the straight stroke, but also to the curvy stroke, so that it doesn't look linear anymore. And these experiments help you understand the structure of the alphabet well. It also helps you give confidence in the way you approach weight in lettering. And you're able to do that effortlessly because you break it down into simple strokes and don't create complex styles in your imagination, because you can actually do it now. And you can add a serif here, and now this looks both almost the same bone structure, but this is Art Deco and this becomes vintage. And we can take another alphabet by putting another tracing on top of one of the bone structures that we created. So we can take this as a bone structure and can use the tracing and create a very, very different option again. We may want to not create anything tall. We can create something very small and expanded, and therefore it becomes very different from the way the taller letters are. So let's create something which is short and expanded. Right? If you take this out now, you can see that how expanded this is. And this is how you can keep adding different styles. What I'm showing is single letters, but you will be able to do that to your entire lettering composition. Yeah, if you see this, it's again same strokes, single vertical line, curve, and a diagonal, but you're giving it more thickness and weight depending on how you want to treat the style, whether tall or condensed, compact. And you can add thickness here as well, and then it looks like a different style, right? It definitely looks suddenly a different style now because you added more weight. You take the same style and you keep adding serifs to it, sharp serifs, and it looks again very timeless. You can add flat serif, slab serifs to it, the same thickness as this. So almost like 3 different styles in the matter of few minutes. If I would have kept them side by side, you would have seen all the 3. So you start without serif and keep adding sharp serifs and slab serifs. And if you see a lowercase, for example, I was supposed to create a lowercase r. Again, there is a, so I'm going to draw the r as big as the capital R so that you can see it clearly. Again, there is a vertical stroke and there is a terminal stroke, right? So the same way I can add thickness and becomes quite a robust Art Deco style lowercase. And you can add a terminal here, and this becomes a fact face. Right? You can add a little more thickness here, and it becomes a much more old style, and you can add serif, and it becomes pretty traditional old style lowercase. Any request of any particular alphabet that you like? I'm okay to take some requests from you. Any request you have? Any of the participants has any request about any one particular alphabet which they think is very problematic for them, or they are not able to experiment well, you can write it on the chat and I will draw that alphabet for you. Or I may choose E uppercase. Okay, that's Omaima. Okay, inverted contrast. So yeah, that's reverse contrast. In reverse contrast. So what is reverse contrast? I may draw the R right now for you in reverse contrast, and you will be able to see the difference. And I will also take the other request of a capital E. Right. So let's go back. If you can see this again. So what is reverse contrast? If you saw the R here, all these strokes are the main strokes, the vertical stroke, the curve, and the R, right? And these are supposed to be thicker, like you see here, thicker, thicker, thicker. So with a reverse contrast, what happens is the alphabet, so again, the vertical stroke, the curvy stroke, and so you treat these strokes as linear only and add this heavy serif to it. So this is reverse contrast. It's almost like the R is wearing a cap on top and shoes below, but the R is very, very lanky and thin. It doesn't have flesh on it. There's no weight on it. So that's reverse contrast. And now let's go to the alphabet E. Any particular style you had asked for? We can draw it in, say, a vintage style, maybe. Yeah, if you're okay with that. So if you want to draw an E, again, you can split it into basic 4 lines. The vertical line, the upper line, the middle line, which should not be exactly in the center. It can be in the center, but I tend to push it up slightly up, and I can do it like this so that it adds a slight lettering touch to it. So this is the bone structure of the E. Yeah. And because we created a reverse contrast R, and it is now both are neighbors, we can create a reverse contrast E. So all the main strokes are thinner and the serifs are thicker, has more weight. Yeah. Does that look okay to you? But we can create, of course, another version. It's not that we stop here. We create another version so we can also see how the same technique works on E. So if I take this and I take another tracing sheet, of course I have to take another tracing sheets. Right, I take this tracing sheet and I want to create a kind of vintage E because I tend to like vintage maybe. I take this stroke, I give it slightly thickness. Yeah, I treat this and I treat it slightly old, timeless Roman style. When I mean timeless, styles which have been existing for several years, to say few generations. That's what I mean when I say timeless. So if you see, the behind tracing is kind of the bone structure guideline for me. So I'm creating my own original references and working on them. So the end result is very original because you're not copying anybody else's work. So here are two different E's. One E is reverse contrast, the other E is vintage. And there is also one more E, since you took you suggested me to create an uppercase E. I can share another E, which is one of my favorite E's to create in uppercase again. Very different from this E is you can take a smaller circle on top. You can take a bigger arc in the bottom, and this becomes the bone structure for a different style of E. So this is also E, this is also E. Again, we can add more weight, and then this bone structure becomes a basic proportion to something which has more weight. So if this is a bone structure, you keep adding more weight to it. So this is adding more weight, almost giving it a Bodoni-ish, the Bodoni style feel to it. If you see this again, yeah, from just one line it has two lines and it looks very different. We can make it go still different by adding the thin lines, converting the thin lines slightly thicker so that they don't have that much contrast. And you can also add a curve here. Right? You see, I'm just taking it closer, and when you fill it, you will see the difference. That's why checking the weight is very important in your lettering. So I quickly fill it and check the weight. So here it is. Now they both look a little similar to each other because both their thick strokes and thin strokes are almost similar. However, this serif is slightly slant. We can make it slightly slant here. And it will start looking similar to this. So imagine if this was a existing lettering style that you want to get inspired from. It has one E which is like this and the other E which is like this. Make sense? Any particular observations you have about these technique? Yeah, ligature of RE can also be very interesting. However, ER ligature would look better rather than RE. I hope you like the demo. Whoever asked me the E example, we can create a ligature example of sorts of ER if you're okay with that. Yeah. And I'll come back to your questions. Don't worry. We will have a Q&A session a little later. I think only few minutes left in the demo. So let's create an ER ligature. So I'm taking this E, this particular E where I'm pointing right now my finger, and I'm taking this style of an R, but I'm going to create similar style. I'm not going to take one R separate and the E separate. So imagine, again, this is the E and this is the R. So kind of an ER ligature already done. Now you know what you need to do next, right? When you do this bone structure, you keep another tracing on it and keep adding thickness, keep adding various styles, and but the basic ligature is done. Yeah, I hope I have satisfied your question. So I think we can do a Q&A. If you have a few questions, I'm okay to take them. Yeah, there's a question here. Thanks, Marco. I'm glad you joined the session firstly. All of you, which is Tariq Aziz, Umaima, Iga, Marco, Anna, Adriana, Victoria, Umang. So I think Umang is from India, obviously, or maybe has roots in India, and Verena. So thanks all of you. So we'll start with questions now. Well done. You are also talented teacher. Thank you so much. You must have a lot of sketches. Oh, tons of them. I have tons of sketches. What I do is for a particular project, I keep that all my tracings in a nice paper envelope, and I tag the envelope with the project name so that I don't misplace them. Hi, Umang. This is not a pretty in-depth demo, but what I wanted to give you an essence of how to have style variations in the same composition. Like I showed you the whole Wanderlust creative lettering, wherein the original bone structure created helped me to create 4 different styles. So that is the whole approach I wanted to share, which is pretty easy, as you must have seen. All you need to be is a little spontaneous and little free. Don't take stress of how am I going to achieve that style. Just put the pen on paper, remember the styles, do your own original sketches, and you will see something works, something doesn't work. What works, you can carry forward that by adding more tracing sheets on top of it. Okay. I do Arabic lettering and I'm looking forward to try this. Oh, definitely you should try, Umaima. You should definitely try this technique because what it does is, again, you create your own original drafts. You're not relying on somebody else's work. Yes, basic structure of typography has never changed. Basic structure of letters has never changed. You can take that basic structure and create a very different style coming out of it, from linear to art deco to old style serif to markers. Like that whole marker style, I wanted to quickly give you an example how I achieved that, which has rounded corners. Probably a last sketch of mine for today's session. So for me, this is reverse. So what I'm going to do is this ER, I'm going to quickly try and create the marker style thick letters that you must have seen earlier in my presentation. So again, this is kind of mono style, which means mono weight followed everywhere. If your basic letter form is correct, your end result will also look nice and visually appealing. So that's the power of this approach. If you think your basic structure is incorrect, all you have to do is place another tracing on top of it and correct the structure and then add weight to it. And similarly for script as well, you can use a similar technique so that you can create correct proportions of alphabets. And you are allowed to edit because tracings allow you to edit. So here it is. So right from linear it became thicker round hand. Yeah. So round hand means it doesn't have sharper edges. No, it doesn't have sharper edges. It has roundy edges. So wherever the alphabet ends, it has a roundy edge. Okay. So I think yeah, this one it is. Cool. I hope this would have added some better techniques. And all you need to do is just buy tons of tracing sheets, and you don't have to worry about what the result is, because the process is as important as the result, and you are able to enjoy the process because you are creating original. Like, just to show you in the last 15 minutes uh, what is being done. See, so much of work in just last 15 minutes. This one, right? This one, the bone structure which I started first. So many pieces created in just a matter of few minutes, and this is the power of tracing sheets, right? Makes perfect sense when you are learning to create style in your letters. Yeah, maybe this one again. Yeah, something like this. So I think I must have done around 10 to 12 sheets. I hope it was entertaining. I want to quickly take you through some of the styles again so that you don't miss what you saw. Quickly, I'm going to do that without talking much. So some of the styles is linear style here, bold style here. All of these styles started as bone structures and then ended up with these certain serif, sans serif. Again, old style serif. Now you know how the result would have happened, right? Again, all three different styles. An old school on the left, very linear and delicate in the center, and fat face serif style on the right. Inspired by Herb Lubalin, but my own original take. Again, this is outlined by the same pen and filled by the same pen, 0.07 micron pen. So again, I create it on tracings and then transfer it on a colored paper of my choice, and then fill them black. Yeah, so this is reverse contrast again, where the main strokes are thinner and the serifs and little curves become much thicker, especially the ones here. One here, letters tell stories. You'll see it's highlighted a little more here. And it's up to you how much you want to add width on serifs. Sans serif with Art Deco style, slightly Art Nouveau-ish feel here, but more geometric. Love letters from Italy is more geometric, and Art Nouveau as well. Sans serif, the rounded style with a marker which I showed in the form of ER. Letter better, Spencerian hand lettered. E12 travel often, again has all the drafts on tracing seen on the photograph itself. Ligature is very good way to make your lettering compact and connect related alphabets effortlessly. Again, it's all about trying and seeing the approach. Mono weight, one style throughout all the letters, one thickness throughout all the letters. Style pairing, again, more than one style, which means two or more. And of course, you see, these are probably, I have like an entire library full of tracings now. If I can take 15 minutes to create 10, 12 sheets, imagine what happens if I sit for hours. But there is a purpose behind that process. Here I was showing you different approaches. When I have my own approach, I'm pretty focused on what style I want to work on, and I create a little bit of variations there. And again, you saw this whole Wanderlust piece starting with the linear and then moving to different styles. And again, if you see, one of these styles is different, one of these styles is different. So here it is. Thanks. I hope you guys had engaging session, and I hope I was able to answer. I'm going to check the questions again. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's see some of the question. Yeah, I think I was able to answer most. What I do is I use, so if you see this particular tracing sheet, this is a 90 GSM tracing sheet, slightly translucent, not completely transparent. Like if you take this palm of mine and I put behind, you're not able to see it completely. But if you put it on top of black lettering or pencil lettering, it gives you enough flexibility to work on an empty sheet on top. Yeah, so this is a 90 GSM, and my finished pieces, I usually use. So this is one of the finished pieces which I wanted to share with you, all of you. So this is a finished piece. This is again gold. You can see it's shining, and I use a 180 GSM paper, which is used for watercolor, slight texture, and it gives wonderful smoothness to work on. So I think we are at the end, and I hope I have a session tomorrow as well at the same time, which is 4 p.m. India time, which is I think 10:30 a.m. UK time. So you might want to check that in the schedule and the agenda for a Taipei for 31st October. And I'm glad I would have this conversation. Thanks so much, Yana, for being of good help, and to the entire team of Ataipi for allowing me to present my ideas to all the wonderful participants. Thank you so much. Bye. Take care.